Okay, so we'll talk about Fashola tackling Nigerians for asking for too much from Mr. President. Of course, he said water, house rent, others are not the constitutional responsibilities of the president. He said this. He said this during.
Is he drunk?
Oh, let's mind our words, please. Okay, let's watch. This is an interview with personnel, media personnel, that he had to say this, and of course the lady had some questions to throw back at him. But I just wanted to pick that part where he said what he said. So let's watch this video, of course, where Fashola actually said president has nothing to do with most of the things Nigerians are complaining about. Let's watch the video right back.
Are we expecting too much from the president? What constitutional role does the president have with regards to things that affect the majority of people? Water supply, sanitation, getting a business permit, paying rent, and those are things that are not the responsibility of the Nigerian president.
All right, welcome back. Yes, you heard it. House rents. He mentioned a whole lot of things. That's made the video very short. Chibodi, reacting to this, according to the Constitution, that's what he said. He said, according to the Constitution, it is not the responsibility of the president. But according to the Constitution, the welfare, the security of the citizens is the main priority for the government. So what's your reaction?
I don't think I've heard from any Nigerian that says president should come and pay house rent. I don't know where you got that from. I do not know. We are a very respectable governor of Lagos State, former governor of Lagos State, a lawyer, minister of works, minister of power, former. He's been very privileged. He was the chief of staff to the president now, when the president was the governor of Lagos State. He's been very privileged. So I don't know where you get that from. But the basic thing that the president of Nigeria, the government that leads, nobody's asking the president to do this. The president leads a government that make things better for the citizens. And the basic things are security of life, property, welfare of the citizens, and that welfare includes creating creating a conducive environment for business to thrive, and people who will get gainfully employed, and they can draw wages from their employment, and they can now pay those things for themselves. Like, there is no government in the world. Government of Biden is not paying rent for the citizens in the US. Government of Rishi Sunak is not paying rent. It's not paying rent for the people in the UK. But what do? They make the society peaceful. They create an environment that is conducive for business to thrive, and people can be gainfully employed. And when you do this, you see, whether it's about rents, about food, about this, the president is not going to bother himself doing anything because he has already done the basic things. Now, he said water. I think water is part of it, and that's why we have Ministry of Power, Ministry of Water Resources. Yeah. Maybe you can tell us that we are wasting money, using taxpayer money to pay people working in that ministry and pay the politicians heading that ministry as a minister. So at the end of the day, you see, when people, I remember the same Fashola, maybe you could have also, the lady that interviewed him would have asked him, where were those things that Goodluck Jonathan didn't do that you criticized him in 2015 elections? Where were those things that we were talking about, that we were campaigning for, then Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the former president? Yeah. Where were those things he didn't do? Were these things there? Were these things that we are talking about? Were there the things that were visible in our society that people were discontent about? Right? So at the end of the day, when you see people who are so privileged, who got themselves in power, and so privileged to walk through the corridor of power, coming back, they can always speak like this because there are no consequences for bad leadership. Mr. Fashola is sitting in that place. He cannot account. He has been the Minister of Power for 4 years under Buhari. Today, throughout this weekend, we have no light. I got into office this morning, I cannot walk. There is no water. I dig my water. I cannot have light to power it. I'm not asking Mr. President to buy me generator. I am asking that there is so much taxpayers' money put into electricity generation. So what happened? don't we have like, in this office that we are talking from, is powered by generator. And Mr. Fashola should also, should cover his face in shame if South Africa can call Nigeria a generating country, generator country. He should cover he should use his arms and close his face. Because that's what South Africans are calling us. And he was a minister of power. For 4 years, he became the minister for housing. Nigerians are homeless. 2 ministries that he headed for 8 years. We don't have power. There is no power across Ikeja. There is no power across Lagos. If you fly in the night to this place, you will not think this is Nigeria. It's incomplete. It's covered in darkness. So Nigerians are homeless. So is it telling us that too, housing is not part of the president's functions or the government functions? So in the end, you have people who are so privileged, who have the opportunity to be in government, who enjoy all the perks and whatever of the government, funded by people's tax, coming out to speak like this.
Okay, anyways, Satoshi, before you actually join in the conversation, I would like to go on a short commercial. Alright, welcome back. Yes, we're talking about Fashola tackling Nigerians to stop putting a lot of tax on the president when it comes to housing, food, a whole lot of things still. And of course, while we're having our commercial break, we had a message from one of our viewers. I'd like to read that before we have our reaction. This one says, I will not blame Fashola, I will blame Baba Awolowo. All I want is the nation to end this suffering. Anyways, let's take it.
Yes, the thing is that it was Chibika Mechi who once said, we steal public funds because you do not stone us. So he admitted doing the wrong thing. He admitted stealing public money, but said it's because Nigerians do nothing about it. So a man like Fashola can afford to talk like this because Nigerians won't do anything. I asked you, was he drunk? And you said, mind your language. But why would I mind my language? He was talking like a drunk. And his talk affects me. Why wouldn't I react to it? Wealth, he says, is the wealth, all the president, the constitution requires the president to do is to secure Nigerians and ensure their welfare. But the word welfare is such a broad word. It means so much. Even urban planning, to get the city functioning right, to get traffic moving right, is an issue of welfare. Therefore, having an urban policy, housing policy, water policy, agricultural policy, law enforcement, every aspect of human life is welfare, or it's a part of welfare. The British came here as a colonizing power, as an intimidating power, as an occupation power. But they provided us water. My father was born in 1920. And in my village in the 1920s, the British had pipe-borne water. You can drink the water, it was clean. So you're talking of 100 years ago. They provided houses. If you go to some parts of Lagos railways, you see all those houses they built across Nigeria, Kano, Kaduna, Enugu, everywhere. They worried about the street network, a drainage system, got the system functioning, electricity function. I went to school in the 60s when I was in primary school. In my school, that was a public school. We had milk. They brought us milk. Mixed it, gave it once a week, once in 2 weeks. Those are issues of welfare. So now that Nigeria has come this far, become so rich, people are so enlightened, the world has gone this way. You're telling us that the government shouldn't pay your rent. Nobody's asking anybody to pay you rent. But any responsible government should have a housing policy. And what does the housing policy do? Ensure that there's enough supply of housing. Houses get so expensive because it's about supply and demand. Government policies can provide the enabling environment for increased housing supply. And with increased housing supply in relation to demand, prices of housing will drop. In Ikeja, to get an apartment of 3-bedroom apartment is 3 million, 2.5. So it's weighing down on people. Farmers cannot cultivate their land in the food baskets of Nigeria because of banditry, because of Fulani, rampaging Fulani headsmen Are those not the responsibilities of the president to take care of?
Yeah.
So these people talk so recklessly and nobody says anything about it. And that's the problem of this country. People should rise up. You listen to people like our church leaders. They talk through both sides of their mouth. I keep making reference to Pastor Oyaki Lomi, who said that the man that will win the last election is the man whose name is in the Bible. Who was he referring to? Peter Obi. Atiku Abubakar is not in the Bible. Ahmed Tinubu is not in the Bible. That's what he said publicly from the pulpit. So when the man that was to win the election got thrown off balance by the intrigue, can I speak? By the intrigues of the Nigerian politics, by the monstrous designs of the cabal that run this country. You didn't come out to say, hey, you change your tactics. Hey, God, you don't have to be perfect for God to use you. You could have done the election the wrong way. You can also be a bad man, but he's still God and walk. What kind of sophistry is that? The same thing, both of them the same, but it's the Nigerian problem. So one day we must sit up to address issues like this, get these people that are serving us or that we have elected to serve us to sit up, to be accountable, to be responsible, unless we just be going in circles. That talk was wrong. That talk was is regrettable. A man like Fashola shouldn't talk like that because he knows better than that.
All right.